Alright, Magic here. I'm going to be doing some casting today. I actually just got done casting some pro replays of Idra versus Puma, both part of EG, but like a dumbass, I somehow put on the wrong settings and it wasn't live, it was locally recorded, and then apparently I didn't turn my mic on, so I can't even upload it because there's no mic, no sound from me, just game sounds. So it all kind of went to shit, and while they're really good games, I feel like I casted them fairly well. But, well, that was part of a two-series set that I wanted to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the second series. The second series being a friend of mine, DragonFury. I'm going to be showcasing him. He is on Team Flux. So, I don't know. Let's get right in there, eh? Um, yeah. Alright, so we have DragonFury spawning at the bottom left, if you will, also known as possibly the 9 o'clock, more like an 8 o'clock type of setting, as our red Zerg player. And we have Sophia, I guess, spawning as our blue Terran at the top right, if you will, also known as like the 2 o'clock position, maybe the 2:30, maybe, I don't know, I'm not here to say. I'm here to say. Alright, well, not much going on yet, so let's see what these players do. How crazy of a game can it be? It's on Antigua Shipyard. And so, those games I cast earlier were really long, really good. Kind of crazy. And so, I am a little bit tired afterwards. I just want everyone to note that, but I do want to get some actual casting in that's live. Unlike, let me just check really quick. Yeah, I believe it's live still. So we should be good. Should be good. Looks like nothing crazy coming out of factories yet. It looks like there's just the usual supply depot at the top of the ramp and all that good business. Surprisingly, he's not put it at the bottom. I haven't actually seen that much lately. Just putting barracks and a supply depot at the bottom of the ramp, because it does work. It does help against baneling busts and all that, because you can put a second wall at the top. So it's good. And also denies a little bit more scouting, so it's good stuff. Anyways, it looks like DragonFury is going to go right ahead, put down that extractor first. I do know that he likes extractor pool instead of hatchery first. So we'll see when he puts down that pool, probably right at 15. Yep, we're right at 15. Command center going up. Alright, so that is a bit crazy. He's doing a supply depot command center right on 15. Slophia, I know, usually you put down a barracks soon after, but it looks like he's going to go ahead, put down that command center. Pretty ballsy, but at the same time, it is a pretty big map. It does take a while to get to your opponent's base. I mean, the map itself isn't very big, but it takes a while to get there. The ramp's not huge or anything like that, so I can totally understand that. To be perfectly honest, I haven't played ladder in quite a while, so I've just been doing Obs Metalopolis and shit like that, so I'm not really used to these maps. But as you can see, the ramp is pretty small, so it's not that bad of a situation. And, well, there's barracks going up, so he's going to be well defended. Now, I am curious to know whether or not he goes for a second barracks or for a factory. Usually you do go for that factory. I mean, usually you do go for that second barracks, but, in certain situations you can go for the factory. It's just a little bit more ballsy. You're going high-tech and high economy without getting too many military units. He's got to be really careful about early game aggression. But at the same time, it does take roaches a long time to get there. Of a factory, you can get a Hellion out in a pretty good amount of time before Zerglings really do any real serious damage. And they're good against banelings as well, so... Anyways, looks like DragonFury is going to go ahead and put down that Roach Warren. He's still on one base, just for the record. He's not building a add-on command center or hatchery, also, aka hatchery since he's Zerg. But he is going to go ahead and build an Overlord, make sure he's not supply blocked and all that good stuff. Personally, I feel like the 26 Overlord is pretty hard to remember. I usually get blocked there, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, oh, you gotta get it, and then you forget, and it's like, damn, and then you're blocked, and it like throws your entire game off, and yeah, so it's not fun. But anyways, looks like Dyslofia is going to be going for that fast factory, tech plus economy, pretty ballsy. Right now, DragonFury is possibly adding on a lot of guys. I did have that SV up there. Dyslofia did have that SV up there to scout for things, so I'm sure he knows about these roaches. So we'll see what he does to react upon that. He does have a bunker out there. 2 Marines guarding in place with that factory en route as well. Actually, I did not find that it's Roach Warren. Looks like the SV did not quite get up there. But, well, looks like the Roaches are on the way, are on the way regardless. And leading the charge are these 3 Roaches. Some Zerglings and 3 more Roaches on the way. And then another stray guy in the back. So, during all this, looks like DragonFury is going to be expanding. He has his military force to attack in here, and we want to definitely either expand, build some drones, do some good stuff like that while this is happening. You know, as Zerg, you know, since Zerglings are fast, you can add on Zerglings. That does help if you want to go all in. But he's just being smart, knowing that, well, this could fail, and it's good to just be careful, you know. Do some damage to these Roaches, and then have something to back it up later on, you know, in case something drastic does happen and you just lose everything. It looks like these Roaches are going to surpass this bunker. This bunker, it looks like he's taking out the Hellions as he goes by. The Marines don't really kill Roaches all that quickly. And while it looks like they're working their way on that supply depot, SVs have been pulled off to repair that, but the Roaches have gotten in. SVs now going to be taking some damage, but it looks like the SVs are not attacking. Yeah, the Hellion got picked off. The SVs definitely could have been attacking during that. A little bit of a blunder there by Dyslopia, but these Roaches are going to be cleaned up in due time. Meanwhile, there are some Zerglings in the back there. You could definitely sprint forward right now, pick off some extra guys. The Hellions are pretty much picked off. There's only one left, and he's severely damaged. There he goes. And these Marines are in a lot of trouble. Dyslopia is not going to be sitting pretty after this. Yeah, DragonFury definitely way ahead right now, 10 food ahead, which is pretty good early on. You know, early on it's usually neck and neck, and then later on, like, Zerg gets ahead or something like that. But this early on, that's really good, especially with Zerg still attacking shit, blowing shit up, and this reactor is definitely going to be going down. Some Marines on the way. Okay, so it just goes in the next queue. I wonder if it starts at the last percentage. I'm really curious about that right now. I really want to watch. Actually, I think the first one already came out, so yes, it does keep the build time if that reactor is killed off. Anyways, looks like Dyslopia is going to be adding on some more supply depots for an extra wall. Supply depot's not really been the best choice, but in this situation, it's really all you can do. You can't really add on like 3 barracks to protect that bunker. Because right now, Banelings could really just bust in there. And that's exactly what DragonFury is adding on right now. Baneling Nest, possibly going to be busting in there. He does have another hatchery going up. I almost said command center. Hatchery going up. He is Zerg. And, well, we'll see if he adds on a whole lot of Zerglings now and just busts in there, breaking the Terran apart. He does have a lot of Zerglings back here still. Looks like this guy is just going to be checking things out. Looks like the command center did lift off, go to the natural. And this Zergling's gonna, well, he's gonna know that there's Hellions. And these Hellions do know there's Zerglings now, and the Zerglings now getting a pretty good surround on those Hellions. Not the best, they did manage to squeeze by there. Now Banelings are on the field, they're being morphed in the back of the Terran base. We'll see if Dyslopia does anything about it. You know, he just had these Hellions out there. He could definitely poke and prod at those Zerglings. You gotta be really careful with that surround, so I mean, it's not really the best idea to poke and prod at them. But Banelings could be a big threat as well. They are a bit slower, so I mean, I do understand that these Hellions could pick them off, and there they go. 3 Hellions, or 3 Banelings taking heavy damage, but the Banelings are coming closer and closer, but there they go, busting up a couple of guys there, a couple of Banelings still alive, and taking some more damage, taking 1 more Hellion, and 2 more are just about dead. Let's see if he repairs them or not. There's the SV transfer, and let's look at the unit counting tab. 40 drones to 24 SCVs, so Zerg definitely pulling ahead after that one. You know, the Banelings didn't really do a lot, but they, you know, it's definitely scared Terran a little bit, pushed him back a little bit. You know, he didn't transfer the SVs right away, whereas he could have without those Zerglings and Banelings threatening him. Meanwhile, it looks like DragonFury is adding on another Roach Warren. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but he could just use it for double upgrades. Speed plus burrow plus burrow movement. You know, get 3 upgrades at once. 2 require a Roach Warren, so you get all 3 at once instead of just 1 at a time. And, well, you can just get that up super fast, go in there, do some heavy pressure, and possibly even just kill your opponent with those Roaches. You know, Terran does not have a lot of economy to really boost his military force right now. The ranks are pretty thin, and the engineering bay is going up. He's going to be extra cautious against any kind of mutalist play, but it looks like DragonFury is not going to be going mutalist. He does have that second Roach Warren, so I believe he is going to be going for that double upgrade. We'll see what happens in just a moment. Looks like an... okay, I wasn't... I thought it was 2 Evolution Chambers for a second. I think I was just reading the build time number. But he is adding on an Evolution Chamber for plus upgrade. I believe it's going to be for the Roaches. And I believe he's probably going to be going with those 2 upgrades in just a moment. Meanwhile, there are some Hellions kind of controlling the map. You know, Zerglings and Roaches. Roaches are just too slow. You know, Hellions can just run away from them and still have good map control. Excuse me. Zerglings, Banelings, you know, just die to Roaches or Hellions. So I mean, it's not the best idea. Once again, this is after the patch. You know, these Hellions do 5 less damage with that blue pre-igniter upgrade. So. Only 19 damage instead of 24. 24 is quite a lot, so I'm glad Blizzard did something about it. But yeah, looks like these Hellions are rolling around, checking things out, making sure there's no hidden expansions now. In Zerg's position, I'm not sure why you'd put an expansion up there. I guess if you're being really ballsy and going for an extra expansion after you're already 2 expanding hatcheries over there. But you can pretty much guarantee he has this one if he's going to have one. If he's going to have 2, then yeah, you would have had one here, but yeah. Anyways, looks like only one of these Roach Wards is going to be used, so it was kind of a blunder. He's going to be going for that Spire. And, well, Eslofia a little bit early on that Engineering Bay, but of course, that he probably got it at the normal time when guys would get there, which is good. You don't know if DragonFury rushed for mutas afterwards, but I could delay it a little bit, but looks like he's going to be just cool. Looks like a bunch of Roaches making their approach to the Terran base. He does have 1 tank on the high ground here. Going to be sieging up right where they rally. Oh man, that Roach going to be taking some extra hits there. And well, it does take, I believe it's actually 4 hits to kill a Roach with the tank without upgrades. You know, 3 to get it to like, you know, barely dead. Or barely alive, I should say. And, well, these Roaches taking heavy damage. Well, they kill off that 1 tank. That's going to help them a lot, but there is still a tank. Yup! Ah, man, that's gross. It's a lot of dead Roaches right there. Dead Roach carcasses left behind. Another Baneling nest going down. I'm not sure what that's all about. He already has one. Yeah, that's kind of... what? He has 2 Roach Warrens and 2 Baneling nests. You know, he's already ahead because of that early attack, but these Mulas are out now. And well, does he have a second Spire too? I wouldn't be surprised at this point to see a second Spire. You know, you could get double upgrades with those, you know, it's not a bad decision. Looks like Terran's going to gun it for the gold. He does have Command Center floating around, going to be taking that gold in a second. Mulas are flying around, picking off what they can. Looks like these Hellions are going to be taking some damage, but, well, there's a sizable force from Terran here. And, well, there's some Roaches burrowed here, you know, could unburrow, but I wouldn't say that's wise. You know, there's just a lot of Marines to deal with. There's tanks as well, so I mean, it's not really the best thing to think about right now. He just really needs that movement speed going. No movement speed yet. Looks like Baneling speed's on the way, though, to deal with all those heavy Marine counts. Mulas coming in here. He's going to be picking off a couple of these guys here, but there are Marines not far behind. There's that Stim going and killing off some of those Mulas. Looks like missile turrets also being constructed in the center tower here. This is a very good position for Terran to hold. If Terran holds this position, keeps this gold, he could put his way back into this game. Now, this is the type of maneuver you need to do to get back into the game after suffering such heavy losses early on. Unit counting tab, we do have 79 drones to 51 SCVs. APM, we do have 80 APM for DragonFury, 76 for the Sophia, I almost forgot his name. And, well, not that APM really matters. APM's a really bad indicator. But we do have a lot of Banelings here. A lot of Zerglings being morphed into Banelings as well. A couple of Roaches and Mulas as well. Now these Mulas could be doing something, but as you can see, there's tons of missile turrets everywhere. You definitely do not want to assault that kind of position. This position doesn't really actually need that many missile turrets because of the long distance between them. With this army in the center, you'd have to go all the way around here, and that would just not be cool. So, anyways, looks like DragonFury moving his forces out now to this side position here. Going to be possibly going around this middle position. Definitely the smart thing to do. You know, if there's stationary defenses like these missile turrets and tanks, you might as well just go around them. Go around them and say, hey, you know what, I'm just going to fuck with your base while you sit there and do nothing. Anyways, looks like the Banelings are coming up to those Zerglings. I mean, to those Marines, killing off a couple of them, but, well, the Marines did a good job moving back, and a couple of tanks were picked off. Roaches on the retreat now with the rest of the crew, but a lot of them being picked off. Very good tank spread by this Lofia. Good missile turret spread as well. Alright, back to the production tab. We have, holy cow, 38 Zerglings, 20 Banelings being morphed as well, and, well, a couple of drones for good measure. Terran looks like he's trying to threaten a little bit. There's just so much creep. Gotta be really careful when you're on that creep as Terran. And then Zerg, really careful when you're off the creep. So the creep is just such a huge thing. Personally, I neglect the creep a lot, and that's one of the biggest blunders I have. Because creep is such a good fundamental part of being Zerg. You gotta spread it around, so that your opponents need to take it out, and it's gonna be, he's gonna be really cautious when he's on it. So I mean, unless he wants to lose all of his guys. Anyways, looks like Zerg threatening his Orbital Command once again. Looks like the Bane is going straight for the Orbital Command, killing it off. A couple of SCVs were picked off as well. A couple of them retreated though. And, well, that was a pretty good exchange for Zerg taking out that command center. You definitely do not want a command center at the goal. Meanwhile, it looks like Terran did construct a command center as a replacement. And he's going to construct yet another one to possibly put up there. I don't know, Terran really just needs to hold this position. If he puts down that command center, I don't know, it's kind of like an up-in-the-air type of situation. Because Zerg has a lot of bases already, has a lot of good production, a lot of drones. Drone count 77, that's a lot. Marine coming out of scouts, yeah. So Dyslofia definitely probably knows he's not doing so hot right now, especially after that early bust. And, well, he's really got to get up those command centers, expand, and keep his income rolling. Keep up on his SCV building. And hopefully the Zerg won't crush him in that time, because Zerg has a lot of units. Now, of course, tanks are super awesome when they're in this defensive position, but you just gotta be really careful once again because of this attacker out there. As we saw, he really did a lot. And, well, there was a drop, but it looks like it's being cleaned up very quickly here. Lots of guys rolling in there. Now, what would have been super awesome is if there was a second drop, like over here, possibly a drop here, and well, you can expect one drop to at least be cleaned up. You should have at least two drops going at the same time. So it's like, okay, I got to manage my units so that I defend both, and then still take care of my base, because that's pretty rough to do as Zerg. Of course, this Terranet's not easy to pull off, but it is pretty awesome. Looks like these Zerglings and things are going towards the center, getting picked off in the process, and Zerglings coming in from all directions. Holy crap, Mutalisks are coming in, rolling in, killing off those missile turrets and tanks, and there's not much left of this position for Terran. This Mutalisks now on the retreat. He definitely has a lot of them. And there's 56 Zerglings in production, so DragonFury just really good on the production, keeping up. Terran just doesn't have a lot of money to just keep adding on units. He doesn't have the production, and that's when you want to keep trading armies. As any race, if you're Terran against Zerg or Zerg against Terran or Protoss or whatever, it's, if you have a good income lead, it's good to just trade your armies. So that's exactly what Zerg is doing, and Terran, of course, in this position, needs to just keep counterattacking, needs to keep laying down the pressure and just killing off what he can for free, kill off a bunch of stuff. It's suffering a couple of marine losses, not a big deal considering you could probably take out this hatchery. Meanwhile, it looks like the Mutalisks and Banelings are coming in here, blowing up a whole bunch of tanks, and while there's a lot of dead guys here, but this base is still alive. But the Mutalisks are now coming in, gonna clean up the rest of these Marines. Once those are cleaned up, there's only one lone missile turret, and I don't think DragonFury is gonna be warded off by that. Well, a couple of Marines joining the party. Now the rest of them come up there. They do have the stim. They have taken a lot of heavy damage there. And the Mutalisks are going to be forced to run away for now. Lots more Zerglings on routes in production. Lots of... Oh, wow, Spine Crawlers up the A. And, well, there's another drop in the backside pocket. And lots of drones are going to be picked off. This is very good. This is exactly what you want to be doing as Terran. Picking off hatcheries left and right. Picking off drones left and right. And... to be perfectly honest, as Zerg, what you do is you get those Mutalisks up, You get Mutalisks, you fly them around, and then you keep your ground army in another position and defend that one, and all that good stuff. Anyways, the Overlord is now going to be picked off to, so that command center can land. And that's exactly what this Sophia is going to need right now. Or income tab, we do have much better income for Zerg, it does have a lot more harvesters, but Terran is kind of pulling his way back in here. Of course, Terran still needs to hold this position. This position is still very crucial. It will protect his new expansion at the top here, as well as the gold position. So, I mean, he's got to be super, super careful about that. Miro's still kind of flocking around. He could definitely check this expansion out with them. Since, that Overlord was picked off, it's a good time to just check over there. That means, oh, I'm expanding there. So, like, that's when missile turrets are going up. That's when you should be going in there with your mutas before it's even constructed, so you can delay it and whatnot. Hopefully not lose any mutas, all that good stuff. So, I don't know. Who am I to judge? He's really busy with a lot of stuff. I'm terrible at multitasking, at, at this stage of the game. So I mean, he's doing a good job. I'm just saying, room of improvement. That's what you do, or should try to do if you have time. And well, Zergling's kind of just running back here, making sure there's no drops. So it looks like Terran's just going to be assaulting directly. Well, there's 3 medevacs. Maybe he's going to be loading up. Maybe not. There are some tanks out there as well. And well, there's just a good Marine spread everywhere. It looks like he just stimmed to go there. I'm not really sure what that was all about. But the Marines are coming up here with those 3 medevacs. And well, there aren't... Actually, there's quite a few guys there still. And now that he's on the creep, he is in danger of dying. Ooh, and a couple of bandings go off prematurely, but... he gets a couple of kills there, but there's still a lot of Marines left. Mulus coming in here now, rolling in there. A lot of Mulus being picked off here. This is exactly the thing you do not want to be doing at Zerg, but at this point it's kind of like, what can you do? He has a lot of Marines threatening his base. You want to keep this base, but at the same time, it's kind of like Mulus against Marines and medevacs is not very awesome. And, if he just handled himself a little bit better with those Marines, or with those Zerglings and Banelings, he could have maybe survived there, but... It's kind of like you just kind of have to lose the base. You don't want to lose Mulus and your base, so of course, heat of the moments, you want to like protect your base. Oh, he's attacking there, I gotta go defend it. Oh, he's attacking over there, I gotta go defend it. It's good to just take a step back and be like, okay, can I really defend this right now, or do I have to lose it regardless? So, anyways, looks like the Mulus did clean up that command center. Did he? Yeah, this must be a new one. He just keeps cranking out these command centers and floating them over to where they need to be. Meanwhile, the gold is kind of checking out here. And, well, the natural and the main is definitely out. Well, the main not so much, actually. But he's going to have to hold this position. If this position falls, he loses the game, like, automatically. Like, right now, he still has somewhat of a chance. Holy cow, that's a lot of Marines. Not enough Banelings, just too many Zerglings. And, well, Marines with medevacs just eat up Zerglings like no other. He even has the +2 attack, +2 armor, even with the +3 on the way. And, well, now he has the Mulus coming in there, and that's just too late. You gotta do it all at once, man. All at once. Otherwise, this happens, you lose the base and your army. That's, I guess, the lesson here, this game. Oh, a couple of infestors running back to their base, gonna be picked off as well. They are so slow now. They used to be so much faster. But, well, it looks like Terran's gonna be holding his position pretty okay for now. He doesn't have, DragonFury doesn't have enough mutas out to really do anything about it. Another thing that I think players need to start looking at is using more Niduses. I saw Idra use it in the first game I casted, but it didn't matter. Before, in the later stage of the game, like right now, I'd use them, which was really good. But I mean, instead of using mutas, you could like defend both, all 3 of your bases while still being aggressive with that tech. It's just really costly, so you gotta, people weigh the, weigh it out, and they say it's not worth it, but I definitely think it would be. Anyways, looks like this hatchery is going to be picked off as well, and, well, it's a sad day for Zerg, because this hatchery is going to die. Meanwhile, it looks like Vikings are now Overlord hunting around the map, outs and abouts. Oh, DragonFury being a little upset about it. Be a sport, man. Be a sport. He's losing these larvae. The Sophia is just kind of cleaning things up, a couple of, he did a couple of drops, killed off some hatcheries, and DragonFury just responded illy. I want to say that's a word, but I know it's not. Unwisely, I should say, I guess. Unskillfully, I don't know. But, I just gotta be really careful. These Marines just aren't easy to kill if you don't have infestors stationed everywhere, or Banelings or something. So, I don't know, one of the things he could have done, DragonFury that is, early on when Terran set up his base and he was moving guys along here, DragonFury attacked the center. If DragonFury just went straight to the natural, he could have done some serious damage that way. Now, of course, his units would have been boxed in there, he would have lost them all, more than likely, but he could have done some serious damage as well. So, I mean, when Terran is in such a defensible position, and you have so many bases, you could just make some more guys, So, I don't know. Something to at least look at. Not really, I don't really know if it would be the best thing. But anyways, it looks like more Marines are going to be coming out here to play and kill off that hatchery. Oh, that's good stuff. Honey water. Alright, so command center going up. Very good position. Another one going up over here. It's kind of like dyslexia, or I see dis and I think dyslexia. the Sophia, that's kind of a funny thing since the meaning of dyslexia, but the Sophia, knowing that he just took out the Zerg army, crushed so many bases, feeling pretty good about expanding, and of course DragonFury adds on Infestor since that's like the best unit to add on in this kind of position, but he's kind of sacrificing them. Oh man, that just went so bad. DragonFury's just like, whatever, I'm out of here, man, I'm out of here. Alright, well that was game 1. I'm going to be casting 3 more, hopefully continuously, otherwise I might have to take like a 5-minute break. Actually, this is game 3, but not like it matters. It's just bnet games. Alright, so app that spawned at the bottom right here is our Terran, also known as the red person. And we have Mr. DragonFury spawning at the top left-hand position as our blue Zerg. Once again, I am doing a showcase of him. He is now on Team Flux, which is apparently a newer team. A team of awesome, I mean. We used to both be on MG together. Now, neither of us are, so it's just one of those things. People switch around little bits. And, well, DragonFury saying that Overlord outs, this is Typhon Peaks. Make sure I'm still, yeah, I think I'm still on display right now. Looks like the mic levels are go. So, that's good. Anyways, looks like app is going to be adding on that supply depot at the top of his ramp like a normal champion. Later to add on a command center and a barracks and all that good stuff. I'm not sure which order, but we'll see. We'll see. I've definitely seen a lot of supply depot, command center, barracks plays, and then factory. And it's like, why would you get a factory then? Why don't you get a command or another barracks? But I don't know. It's been done. Just gotta be careful because last game, obviously DragonFury got in there, did some pretty good damage. Early on with roaches and zerglings, busted in there. And his opponents just didn't scout it, once you see Zerg is still on one base, you should be like, okay, does he have a hidden base somewhere? First of all, and second of all, okay, I need to get some defenses right now. I can't really afford to add on a factory and then a starport and all that good stuff, and that's pretty much what his opponent did. And of course, DragonFury did still lose, but it was still worth it to mention. DragonFury just not doing so good in the late game. Alright, so back to this game. This game at hand, I do know DragonFury likes his extractor and then pool and then hatchery later down the road. We'll see if he goes roaches first or second, after the hatchery or not. Meanwhile, there's an SV now scouting the base. He does see the creep. He's going to be rolling on in there. And apparently rolling back out and not turning around. Alright. Alright, now he's going to be checking the expansion. No expansion. Alright, let's go check up there, see what else is going on in the Zerg base, see if it puts down a roach warren, all that good stuff. So, just so you know, as Zerg players, right now is a good time to drone, even if you're going roaches. And then you can get a roach warren once that SV is picked off with that first Zergling, first batch of Zerglings. And then you can safely do whatever you want, Personally, I've tried to do early roach attacks, and it's like I get the roach warren too early, and then it's like, fuck. But as you can see, he's gonna be going for that roach warren once that SV is killed off. And quite honestly, it seems like it's a very crucial thing to have that SV killed off before you place it down, because otherwise Terran just gets some like tech labs up and marauders, and it's not good. So, anyways, looks like app is gonna be adding on a factory app, and a bunker app. Alright, well apparently his iPhone's being plugged in right now to the situation. And another barracks. Alright, so this is pretty standard. I mean, you see a barracks, factory, barracks, no starport, it's just so common to see a play of, you see the barracks and you see a factory and you see gas to get that factory, and then you see banshees. See Hellions with the banshees, double harass going on. You harass the Hellions, and then you roll in with the banshees shortly after, which is good. It's good, but it's just so common that, and it's so predictable and it's so easy to guard against once you know that it's coming. So, I'm glad to see players don't do that anymore. It's probably because people are watching MLG and GSL and all that, and they say, oh, that's a good idea. Let's not do that. Let's do this kind of play instead and get a double barracks and just produce Marines and tanks and just roll out and expand in due time. So I do wonder when that command center is going to be going down. Usually you have one going down at around 6 minutes, if not a little bit earlier. But we'll see. We'll see. Well, some guys are coming out. Anyways, looks like DragonFury is going to be expanding. He does have some roaches out. Generally speaking, he does like to get some roaches with the lair and expansion. But I don't believe he's going to be able to do too much aggression with that. Now, the common thing is, since this is a fairly large map, and this position is fairly easy to defend with this small choke, there's that back area, but who wants to go all the way around there with roaches? Generally speaking, you see a pretty early expansion, so I think DragonFury is pretty much banking on that, thinking, hey, you know what, he's probably expanding, so I should go in there with a bunch of roaches and deny it. So, just getting up a roach swarm before that second hatchery, and, well, he could lay down the law and put down a lot of roaches. But it looks like it's just going to be going on fester with that. Just a very early tech play. I like this a lot. Personally, I play with a lot of drones. I like my economy roll in before I do anything else. So it's like, and then if I see an opportunity, I go kill him. But, DragonFury is getting some really early tech. Doesn't have that many drones, but already has a lair. He just got up his hatchery at his natural. And, well, once this expansion actually goes down, which is, usually it's either up already or it's going to be going up or down soon. And by the time he gets there, it's Terran's weak spot. So this is actually a very good timing from DragonFury. Now, since it is cross positions here, it might be a little bit late. He might not have enough roaches to really do a lot, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. There are actually a lot of tanks here. Actually, more than enough to really deal with this, with those Marines guarding it as well. But as you can see, Terran is kind of pressuring right now. Tanks are actually rolling out, so they're not sieged up. So this could be a big thing right now. And, well, actually, there's just not enough roaches, to be perfectly honest. And he's going to have to get out of here. Yep, one roach taking the blood and juicing it up. Because that's what happens when a roach dies. Whoa, apparently my cursor just wanted to freak out. Alright, so DragonFury here. Let's look at the unit counting tab. He does have 30 drones to 32 SCVs, so he is a bit behind, with the mules out. You do definitely want more drones than SCVs if you're Zerg. And, well, he doesn't even have Zergling's speed. Now, the Zerglings aren't going to help too much, but, with these roaches and Zerglings, he's going to be able to keep this push at bay. And, wow, he's getting a hive tech already. Holy cow. That is a really fast hive. And, well, Ultralist. He's going super fast Ultralist. Mind you, this is before 10 minutes. He already has an Ultralist Cavern going up. Oh, I totally missed this. It looks like Zerglings are coming in here. Slow Zerglings and some roaches, though. Yeah, there's going to be shot to shit. There's too many tanks. Tanks are just so darn good. They are ridiculous. You siege them up properly. To be perfectly honest, App didn't spread out his tanks. He didn't siege them up till the last second. And still be able to kill off early pressure from DragonFury. Now, of course, DragonFury probably could have added on some extra drones and delayed that roach war and gotten up more roaches by that time. Just rearranging things. So, it might not have been the best arrangement of when to get what. But, these tanks, he only has so many tanks and Marines. We're able to just kill off any kind of push like that. So, and now just able to roll in there. And DragonFury is going to have to add on a lot of guys. He does have the speed going on. I didn't notice that for a second, but he does have one Ultralisk popping out. And well, Ultralisk Caverns build pretty fast. I'm not sure if 65 seconds. I guess that's not terribly fast, but yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to have enough Ultras to deal with this. Now, Ultras are good, mind you, but against spread out tanks like this and Marines, you don't have enough support. You need something else. You need Roaches or Hydras or Infestors or something, or Zerglings to, absorb damage, once Zerglings are spread out, they're really good against tanks. They can absorb a lot of damage for your Ultras and things. So tanks do get a bonus against Ultras. Ultras are indeed armored guys, armored vehicles. Not really vehicles, but they're biological vehicles of death. And wow, he actually cleaned up quite a few guys with just that one Ultra and that handful of Zerglings. He has another Ultra out here. It's definitely not going to be enough, but he's maybe going to be able to take out this last tank. The tank does go down. Ultra is taking heavy damage, and now the Ultra is almost retreated in time. And this, this Queen could have healed it up in not that long. There's the GG, and DragonFury is forced to give it up. Personally, I just feel like DragonFury did not rearrange his stuff very well. If he arranged it so that he got his roach drone a little bit later, got his drones up earlier, maybe he got supply blocked, I'm not sure. He could have had more roaches to deal with that. Now, of course, taking all the way to ultras was kind of a risky thing. You know, I think his plan was to, okay, I'm going to go in there with some roaches, deal some damage, contain him if necessary. You know, if I'm not able to get good damage, I can contain him for a little bit while I get up ultralisks and maybe get another expansion. But that's asking for a lot. You know, going ultras off 2 base, that's not really going to, you know, you need to get, you know, you need a lot of gas stocked up for those ultras. You know, which I guess he did, but I don't know. I feel like he was just trying to bite off more than he could as Zerg. You know, Terran, for example, could definitely do that. You know, or if you had mutas, you could definitely do that. You know, have your mutas around. If he tries to move out, you just kill a bunch of stuff in his base and come back and defend. So, you know, it puts Terran in a position where he doesn't really want to attack. So it's good to do stuff like a tech play plus an economic play. There, as we just saw, you know, DragonFury try to do a tech play while getting units not very economical, and he just did not have the economy to boost his ultralist count. And so, yeah, that went kind of badly. Let's see, game number 3 here. Okay, let's roll on in here. Alright, Scorpio. Scorpio is spawning at the top right as our red Protoss death guy. And of course we have DragonFury, part of the Flux team, spawning at the bottom left, also known as our blue Zerger. And, well, this is Backwater Gulch. Personally, I absolutely hate this map, but, you know, if you don't dislike it, then might as well play on it. Now, personally, I just don't like it because Terran can easily take a base at the gold and defend it by putting tanks at the watchtower, and then, I don't know, that's kind of a sticky situation to get us around on these bases. But anywho, it's not even about Terran, it's about the Protoss this game. So let's see, Scorpio, what is he going to do? It looks like he's going to be fast expanding. He does have that pylon at the bottom there to guard against possible intruders. Now, the usual way to do this, actually, I'm not sure what the usual way is anymore. You know, on something like Zelnaga Caverns or something like that, you put your buildings here, your forge like here, and then another building there, and your nexus, which I guess would be a little better, but at the same time, if you put buildings on this side, it wouldn't be that bad of a call either, because you can just defend from here, and it's easy to get into your base if there's mutalisks or anything like that. So it's kind of a trade-off situation. Let's see what he does. If he puts down a forge, yes, he's going to be doing down the forge first. Sometimes I do see a gateway there, and it's like, I thought you were forged, and I screwed up, and I lost because of it. Or sometimes he puts the forge up there, and it's like, I thought it was a gateway, and I just got cannon rushed, and yeah, it's not fun. But it does happen. DragonFury doing a double cancellation, actually a triple cancellation. He canceled all 3 of those. I'm not sure what that was. I believe that was probably a pool. It could have been an evolution chamber. I don't believe 57 minerals was enough to be a spawning pool, though, so I believe it was probably something else. Oh, there's a spawning pool. It was an evolution chamber. It was pretty much, I think, going to go all in Zerglings with that. But, or maybe it's just trying to get, you know, the 3s. Oh, okay, never mind. My bad. Bad call by me. He was, wow, I didn't even notice how fast this pool went up, but the pool is super fast. Zerglings are out. He actually droned to 10. Puts on 2 extractors and an evolution chamber to get out 3 extra Zerglings at 10 instead of getting a queen. So that's what happened there. I apologize for totally missing all of that, but looks like the Zerglings are rolling in here now. And well, the cannon is just now finished. And while the drone took an extra damage, but he did kind of do some damage to that cannon anyways. Looks like the Zergling's going to sneak right by there. He does have 4 left. With that drone, I wonder if he's going to put down a hatchery or not. Maybe just attack in there. Ooh, he does have another cannon as opposition. So we'll see what he does here. Gateway now going down before that Nexus. You know, now that, you know, once you see Zerg has committed to getting Zerglings in there that quickly, it's kind of like, okay, you can delay the expansion. Don't be greedy. Don't put down the expansion. Just do it later, you know. And, well, it looks like DragonFury did put down the hatchery there. A little bit too close to this pylon. You know, you could just easily put down a cannon. But yeah, this drone's just kind of sitting there. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing with it. Meanwhile, back at his base, looks like just adding on some guys. Oh, okay, he's going to be putting down a hatchery. I was wondering about that. And, well, Nexus is going down now. But the gateway went up first, so that means, you know, these guys here are definitely going to be taking some extra damage once, once that Zella comes out. Ooh, and a hatchery is going down. Now, this is not really the best thing. I mean, he doesn't know about this gateway. You know, in this position, you can pretty much assume that there's going to be a nexus, because 9 out of 10 times, that's what your opponent will do. But Scorpio just being way too smart for that, knowing, hey, you know what? You just committed to an attack. I don't need to put that down right now. I'm going to get some extra defense in case you try to all-in me further. So, as you can see, this hatchery is now going to be in danger of being killed off. The DragonFury is going to be forced to cancel it. Later on, you know, you don't really have to cancel it now, but, you know, before it completes or before it dies is a good time. Well, okay, good Zergling micro there, picking off that drone. Zealot is still alive, though. And another Zealot is joining the fray. There's just not enough Zerglings here. 2 Zerglings to 2 Zealots. Yeah, no, it doesn't work out. You need 8 Zerglings at least to kill, you know, that many Zerg or guys. Meanwhile, there is a pylon here by Scorpio in the Zerg base of DragonFury. I believe he's probably going to be cannon rushing with this, as he doesn't have enough gateways to do a 4 gates or any kind of gates play. He doesn't even have the cybernetics, so yeah, that's out. But 3 Zealots cleaning that up, cleaning up the drone that was there after the cancellation. And, well, this cannon rush is going to suck. DragonFury doesn't really have much of anything. His drone count's not that bad considering. You know, considering all that's happened, like, he actually has a really good drone count. In comparison to Protoss, you know, he's just a few behind. Considering he spent all that on units. And, well, now there's cannons, and now you're screwed, buddy. Because, yeah, you need, like, roaches out or something. Because slow Zerglings are not going to cut it right now. You know, there's cannons behind minerals. It's really hard to actually kill off these cannons. And, yeah. I mean, I guess there's only one pylon. Yeah, there's only one pylon, so that's like the Artosis pylon of the day, but I could easily not get killed off with all these cannons guarding it. So DragonFury definitely in heaps and heaps and heaps of trouble. Scorpio just getting more and more ahead with those drone counts, or probe counts, I should say. And, well, he could add on some tech or whatever. I mean, he could go tech right now, like, if he wanted to, put up another Nexus, because, I mean, Zerg, you know, losing this hatchery, he's not going to be able to attack in there. He doesn't have speed yet, he doesn't have anything, really. Even some Zealots coming in there to kill off some drones. Roach is coming out now as well. And while he's going straight for that pylon, the pylon is going to be just fine. There's none of dudes. And, well, there's 2 almost dead Zealots. I wish he would have picked those off instead of the pylon, but just a bad call. And, yeah, just leaving the game because he doesn't want to GG when he sees a cannon rush. You're going to cannon rush me? I don't care. I'm just going to leave. No GG for you, man. Sorry, I just kind of gave away something, I guess. Oh, I'm loading the last one up already. Alright, well, this is game number 4. Alright, so we have Punani spawned at the bottom right-hand position as our red Terran player. And we have Mr. DragonFury spawned at the top left Zerg blue player. And this is that crypt level Nars something. I don't know. I don't ladder anymore. Yeah, I don't ladder anymore. I just go obs because I'm a baller and I don't give a shit about ladder. I wonder how I do on ladder nowadays, you know, because like I don't really play much anymore. Too busy mapping, too busy casting. Actually, I haven't casted all that much lately. Busy hanging out with my roommates and all that good stuff. So busy applying for a job because that's very important. But anyways, we'll see what these guys do. Oh man, that's so good. If you like honey and you like water, just put them together. You know, like it's so good. It's so good for your throat. You know, if you're like a singer or like you yell a lot at your roommate or something, drink some honey water. It helps, man. It definitely does help. You know, I'm not used to talking so much, so. All right. First order of business: build a barracks. Or I guess a supply depot, because that's mandatory. But we do have a barracks going up as our first order of business, and an extractor from DragonFury. DragonFury, of course, going to be going for that extractor pool build that he loves so much. Then possibly roaches. It is a big map, you know. Well, it's not really that big, but it's not really that small type of thing. So, I mean, I don't know, I just wonder what he's going to be doing, if he's going to be going for those roaches once again, like the last 2 games, or if he's going to be going for a hatchery. Looks like the drone scout is on routes. Going to be deciding where his opponent is. And, well, looks like Terran is going to be going for some kind of tech play. He does have that refinery going, which means no command center, no second barracks as of yet, unless he's doing something stupid like adding on building, or adding on add-ons. which is what I see a lot of lower end players do. They just add on a whole bunch of barracks with add-ons, go Marine Marauder, and to be perfectly honest, that's not a very good combination early on, because Zerglings and Banelings will just bust you to hell. And well, what'd they lie about? I want to check that. Oh, apparently no, nothing. Liar about something. Maybe they're just playing. Maybe DragonFury knows Punani. I'm not really sure, but well, there's this Overlord moving out. I do know that. He's going to the natural. Well, where he'll go from there, I do not know. But he's now in vision of the ramp, and he knows this SV is coming up. Oh, but there's a couple of Zerglings at SV. Oh, he's going to sneak right on by there. A little bit of a mismanagement from those Zerglings. But it looks like that Queen is there to stop him as well. Looks like the Roche Warren was cancelled. And, yeah, like I was saying last game, it looks like it's absolutely necessary that Roche Warren is not found. So I'm glad that he did that. I'm not really sure if Terran saw the splat. I'm not even sure if that shows it, but meanwhile, it looks like Terran is going to go for that factory, add on another refinery, so I believe he's probably going to be going some kind of higher-end tech play with tanks or maybe Banshees. I don't really think Banshees. Maybe Banshees, I don't know. It's just such a wide open area. You know, it's easy for Banshees to get spotted with Zerglings running around. So maybe a drop, maybe Banshees going along the edge, maybe it's going to be just tanks. You know, there's so many options from Terran right now. Terran can build whatever and just maybe get away with it. Like even Mass Ravens, I didn't think Mass Ravens would be that good. And once you hit Masters, you'd be like, okay, why would Mass Ravens even kill me? But playing actually pretty well for myself, I could not beat this guy. I guess I even knew he was going Mass Ravens. I spotted it, knew it was coming, and I couldn't deal with it. I went a whole bunch of things. I went Muralisks and Hydralisks, and not at the same time, but separately. I could just not take these guys out, what are they called? Those turrets, whatever, those fast turrets that they just place have so much hit points, and they actually do decent damage. It just sucks to deal with. And then to top it off, you have the point defense drones, PDDs, as I remember them as. And I don't know, I just lost, so let's not talk about that because it's degrading. It's degrading. Anyways, Zergling speed on the way. Looks like no roaches coming out as of yet because he already has some, also known as 5 roaches. But he did cancel that roach warren, so they're not going to get there in time, and there's just too many tanks out. And if you remember the last game, the tanks were out by the time the roaches got there, and that push did not do shit. So I believe he's just going to be using those roaches for defense for now. I mean, I almost feel like he could have just not rebuilt the roach warren and just got this hatchery up a little bit sooner, gotten some drones out, all that good stuff. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So I do know DragonFury has been playing on the Europe server, and I do, of course, builds a little bit differently, just like they do in Korea. And well, and for those of you that think the American server, the Korean server, and the European server are all the same, they're really not. I've had several friends, like a handful of friends that have played on the Korean server, who have accounts and play, pretty a lot on the Korean servers, say that they just drop a league, a full league, if not more, when they go to Korea. DragonFury, since he plays on Europe, I asked him, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm pretty much dropped a league as well." So I mean, it is something to think about. The American service, it's pretty easy to get up there in comparison. I'm not saying that the top pro players of America are worse off than any other, country, but just saying that it's a little more competitive over there in Europe and Korea. Anyways, SV Scott being picked off there. Looks like Terran did push out there, but is moving on back. He does have 4 SCVs out there. I think he just wanted to make it look like he's going to be all in, forcing a whole bunch of units out. Because, once you see SCVs, if you just see an army without SCVs, it's kind of like, okay, is he really going to be attacking there, or is he just kind of going to the watchtower and just moving back. But with the SCVs, it's like, oh god, he's going all in. I gotta make units, gotta make Zerglings and Banelings, and then it's like, oh, he's not actually attacking. Shit, I just made all these guys, and now those are a lot of drones I could have had. Anyways, looks like Terran has not yet put down a command center, so he's pretty much going all in at this point. He could place down a command center in just a moment as he's moving on out. He does have a couple of SVs, 3 to be exact. Actually, 5 to be exact. I missed the 2 in the middle there. But I'm kind of curious to know why he's not expanding behind this. I mean, it's like, you could do serious damage and still lose because you wins all in, It's like you gotta do even more damage. So I really hope he expands behind this at some point. Sooner rather than later, as that's better play, but we'll see. Anyways, bunkers being constructed in the center here. Zergling's already coming out to spot it, and while the Zerglings are wrapping around that tank, going to be killing off that tank, going for the second tank, and there's a bunch of Marines to clean that up, but there are Roaches out to take some damage for those Banelings, and not the best micro for Terran, but it looks like Terran's going to be okay, going to have some guys, but since this since this was an all-out attack, he does not have a command center. Terran is pretty much fucked, because there is no command center to back this up. He's not going to be able to meet the Zerg economy, especially since DragonFury has that extra hatchery going, and, well, there's even a Spire that just finished. Banshee doing what he can. Where is it? There it is. And, I don't know, to be perfectly honest, this was kind of a weird thing for Terran to do, to go all in with tanks and Marines and Banshees, but, I mean, I guess if you're going all in, that's not that bad of an all in. Simply because you can harass the Banshee, do some good damage while, because your units are at the front distracting them, so you can't really deal with the Banshee so well. But we shall see. It looks like Terran here, Punani, is still going all in. He does not have a command center. I mean, at this point, it's kind of like you can't really just put down a command center and catch up to your opponent's economy. You kind of have to go all in once again, and hopefully, maybe you go more tech and beat him with something that he just can't counter, or maybe you go with units. Oh, I totally missed some of this engagement, but Punani just leaves. Well, it looks like he was going to construct a command center finally at 13 minutes in, but it looks like DragonFury proved to be too much for the Punani, and he is forced to leave. No GG. I personally would not expect him to GG with that kind of name, but I don't know, just kind of what happens. So, anyways, that's going to be it for my casting tonight. This is like the second set I casted, so, unfortunately my first set of Idra against, who was it? Puma. Idra versus Puma, 3-game set. Unfortunately it's not there. I accidentally recorded it locally instead of on Twitch, which meant I could have still uploaded it, but at the same time I forgot to turn the mic on, and it's a disaster when you don't cast for a while and then you try to do it again, and it's like everything's not set up and you forget that the settings are what they are, and yeah, just check your shit. That's the moral of the story here. So anyways, this is Magic signing out, so I hope you guys enjoyed the games. I will be casting a lot more recently, or soon, because my schedule is hopefully going to be changing soon, and I will hopefully have an actual day to cast, per week, like at least 1 or 2 days a week to cast on a regular schedule, depending on when I have a job. But for now, I need to, get myself ready for that and just get my voice going, and so I will be doing some more casts regardless of what happens. So, anyways, Magic signing out. Once again, hope you had a good time watching these.